Living in the light. Romans chapter 13 verse 8 through 14. Romans chapters 12 through 15 you find the context of this study stating, to present your bodies a living sacrifice, holy, acceptable to God, which is your spiritual service. Don't be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Prove what is the good, well-pleasing, and perfect will of God. So, Christians are to love our enemies. Subject ourselves to the authorities. Love one another. Behave through appropriate conduct. Throw off the works of darkness. And put on the armor of light. These verses are presented in this outline as follows, verses 8 through 10. Love fulfills the law. Verses 11 through 12. Time to awake out of sleep. Verse 12b. Throw off the works of darkness. Verse 13. Walk properly as in the day. Verse 14. Put on the Lord Jesus Christ. Point 1, verses 8 through 10. Love fulfills the law. How does love fulfill the law? First, do not keep on owing anyone anything. Rather, we must settle debts promptly. Accept an obligation to love one another. And this obligation to love does not mean to limit that love just to other Christians. It does mean to extend it to all with whom we come in contact. Extend hospitality to strangers. Bless those who persecute you. Do not curse those who persecute you. Repay no one evil for evil. Respect what is honorable in the sight of all men. Be at peace with all men. You shall love your neighbor as yourself. What does this love accomplish? It blesses the person who receives this love. It becomes a powerful witness for Christ. It fulfills the law. Because love doesn't harm a neighbor. Love therefore is the fulfillment of the law. Do you not know a person who loves a neighbor will not 1. Commit adultery against a neighbor's spouse. 2. Murder a neighbor. 3. Steal from a neighbor. 4. Covet a neighbor's possessions. 5. Harm a neighbor in any way that is inconsistent with love. Point 2, verses 11 through 12. Time to awake out of sleep. It is already time for you to awaken out of sleep. For salvation is now nearer to us than when we first believed. It is the dawning of the age that follows Christ's resurrection. Be awake and alert to greet the coming of the dawn. To prepare for the second coming. To realize the second coming is imminent. Paul never claimed that Jesus would appear in his lifetime. Paul did claim that Jesus comes like a thief in the night. He counseled Christians to keep souls and bodies sound. He taught to be blameless so that they would be ready. He spoke of the second coming as it is now nearer. Point 3, verse 12. Let's throw off the works of darkness. It is not enough to put off works of darkness. We must put on armor of light. Live in the light. Do this to prevent the darkness from returning. Be armored for battle. We can expect frequent temptations, constant probing of our defenses, dangers arising from the unexpected, lifelong battle against evil. Point 4, verse 13. Let us walk properly as in the day. Walk decently. Not in reveling, carousing, drunkenness, sexual promiscuity, sexual immorality, lustful acts, unbridled lust, in strife and jealousy. Paul admonishes us to behave honorably, honestly, decently, because such behavior is appropriate to whose we are. We are children of light, children of the day. We are not children of the night, children of darkness. Plus, such behavior is important to our Christian witness. Others turn from Christ when believers claim to be of the light but behave like the darkness. Others turn to Christ when believers love others as Christ taught us to love. Point 5, verse 14. Put on the Lord Jesus Christ. Notice this is a threefold title placing emphasis on the Lordship of Christ. What happens when we make Him Lord over our lives? Temptation loses much of its power. Temptation continues because Christ will help us overcome. We begin to first to Christ for guidance in major decisions. We begin to avoid dead ends and blind alleys. We seek to honor Christ in our relationships. We make no provision for the flesh and its lusts. We focus on using our body for godly service. Lesson point: loving your neighbor fulfills the law and prepares us for the day of His soon return.